Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be a special schus for Reb Daniel ben Sarah Liba and he and his whole family, and for Shleima, for Mamrim Yosef, for Moshe Chaim, Harav Baruch ben Harav Yitzchak ben Bracha, and Rabbi Yeshua Meir ben Sarah, Rachel Sarah, and Lehi Nishmas Maris Chana Basar B'Tzuk Yoina, and Maris Chana Basar Meir Zev, and Maris Esther Basar Shmuel. And we're learning the Rambam, Hilchos Mamrim, Perek Aleph Halacha Hey. The Rambam writes that if you have two Chachamim or two Batei Dinim that are having an argument and you don't know what to do, so it's very simple. If it's a Din Torah, you go after the Machmir. If it's the Rabbanan, you go after the Mekel. And the Makor of the Rambam is in the Sugin Sanhedrin, Sugin Avodah Zarah and Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. There the Gemara says that if you ask a Chacham and he was Metame, you shouldn't ask another Chacham to be Metar. And if you have two people, and one was Metame, one was Metar, one Asr and one was Matir, and you don't know what to do, so if one of them is greater than his friend in Chacham or Minyan, in wisdom or in age, so go after that one. And if not, then just go be Machmir. If they're equal, be Machmir. Shub Karcha says no. If it's B'Shel Torah, you go after the Machmir. If it's B'Shel Sofrim, you go after the Mekel. If it's Midrabanan, you're Mekel. If it's Midaraisa, you're Machmir. That's Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. The Gemara says that Rabbi Yosef Paskins that the Lachzor Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Ad Kan has Sugi. The Kesef Mishnah writes that the Rambam learned that Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is arguing on the Tanakam, and not only B'Shel Sofrim Halach Achar Mekel, that the Tanakama says that if you're not sure what to do, you should be Machmir. And Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha argues with him, and he says, no, B'Shel Sofrim, you're Mekel. But he's also arguing on what the Tanakama writes, that if one of them was Gadol b'Chacham u'v'minyan, Halach Acharav. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is arguing, and he says, no, Midaraisa Machmir, Midarabanan Mekel. It doesn't matter who's Gadol b'Chacham u'v'minyan. And since the halacha is like Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, like it says in the Gemara, the Rambam writes, like Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, b'chol gavin, in every instance, b'shel Torah halach achar machmir, b'shel sofrim halach achar mekel. Ad kan divrei HaKesef Mishnah, and the Chasim Sofer was omeid on this kasha and the Tshuvas in Chelik Zayin and Siman Chav Vav on the Kesef Mishnah. Where's the mashmos in Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha that he's arguing on both nekudas? Maybe Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is only arguing on the nekuda of the imlav halach achar machmir. He holds, Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha holds, no, v'im lav, if one of them isn't greater in Chacham or Minyan, then it depends whether it's Darais or Rabbanan. Whereas the Tanakama holds, you should always be Machmir. But who says that the Tanakama, Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is arguing on the Tanakama, when he says that if one of them is Gadol b'Chacham or Minyan, you should go after him? Who says Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is arguing with that? Maybe he's only arguing on the second Akuda of if neither of them is greater, then go after the Machmir, and he says it depends if it's Darais or Rabbanan. Who says he's also arguing on the Nakuda of if one of them is Gadol b'Chacham u'v'minyan halach acharav. And he says, no, it depends whether it's Darais or Rabbanan. Maybe he's not arguing on that. Maybe he's only arguing on the second point. So where's the mashmos? And Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, he's arguing on both points. That's the kasha, the Chasim Sofer, and the Tshuvas in Chelik Zayin in Siman Chav Vav. In the Hagasagos Haramach, he writes, Tama, amay lo kasav v'hu shiu shneim shav m'chacham v'minyan. Why didn't the Rambam say that's provided that they are equal in Chacham and Minyan? But if the Machmir is greater in wisdom or in age, even though their Machlokes was in a Dirabanan, Halach Achar Machmir should still be Machmir. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha loy polig ela b'seifa. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is only arguing on the Seifa. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is only arguing on the Nekuda where the Tanakama says that if neither of them is greater, then you should go after the Machmir. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha says no, it depends if it's Darais Darabanan. But the Ramach says he's not arguing on the Reisha. He's not arguing on the Reisha where it says in the Reisha that if one of them is greater, follow him. V'yesh mishim mefaresh the Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha poleg akula milsa. And there are those who explain that Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is arguing on the ganze Zach, on everything. Kamosha Kasav Zaharav, like the Kesef Mishnah writes. So in other words, the one opinion is that he's only arguing on the Sefer, like we asked, like the Chasim Sofer's Kash, that maybe he's only arguing on the Sefer. And and some people learn that he's arguing on the Reisha as well. That he's arguing on the Reisha as well. He's arguing on both. V'lo noir, but that's not clear. Ken lechas akar kat nekula fil b'shel sofrim. Mapitom, says the Ramach. You don't go after the smaller person nekula, even if it's b'shel sofrim. V'tzarech iyun, and this requires further study. Ad kan lashon ha Ramach. Lechem Mishnah brings from the Tshuvas Harash ben Siman Reish and Gimel, who writes Ketzad Tshuvas Hadin im Shnayim Aposkim Keachad Zelsiv Zemati im No deEchad Gadol B'Chacham Minyan V'Yatz Shmokein Holchin Acharav. So, how does it work? If both poskim are equal, if both poskim say at the same time, one answers, one's matir. If you know one of them is Gadol B'Chacham Minyan, so it's well known. Follow him. So paskins the Rashba and the Ran Chulim Mem Gimel Beis Ayin Sham. So writes the Ramon Choshe Mishpat and Siman Chafei Sif Beis Ayin Sham. The Shach is Marich in the Senior Odeh Siman Reish Mem Beis. The Pilpul Ban Hagas Isser Veheter. That if one of them is greater in Chachma of Minyan, then you follow that one. The Shneim Shavim, so then you follow Dorais D'Rabbanan. Dorais Elam Chumra D'Rabbanan L'Kula. But if one of them is greater, you follow the greater one. But it's very nice what the Lechem Mishnah said from the Tshuvas HaRashba. It's very nice what the Rashba says in the Chedushim Anchula and the Ran Anchula Mem Gimel Amid Beis. And it's very nice what the Ramah wrote, that if one's greater than Chacham, then you go after him. Aval Manase, like the Lechem Mishnah says with Das HaRambam. Rambam holds that doesn't matter. The Rambam is so same. The Rambam doesn't distinguish whether one's Gadol B'Chacham. The Rambam says a blanket rule that you always follow the Machmir D'Oraisa, the Mekel D'Rabbanan. Lama lo mitchashvim. Why don't you take into account who's greater in Chacham and Minyan? Why be Marabim and Machlokas and say the Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha is cholek on that Nakuda as well? Just say it's cholek on the Nakuda that if they're equal, yours is Machmir. And that Nakuda is cholek, and it says depends D'Oraisa D'Rabbanan. But who says that you have to also? He has to argue on the first point also. That he's arguing that if one of them is greater, you don't follow him. If it's a deraisa, you go l'chumra. If it's derabanan, you go l'kula. You don't care who's greater. Who says he's arguing with that point as well? Maybe he's only cholek what he says mafurish. The Tanakama says that you will go l'chumra if you don't know what to do. And Rabbi Shimon Karcha says, "B'shel sof malach achar meiko." And also misvara, we have to understand if someone's gadol b'chacham u'minyan, halacha kamoso and kan Safek. What's the shaila? Why should we go to kula divrei sofrim? Divrei sofrim you go to kula, but b'kreshel Safek. But now it's muchra because one of them is greater. You go after the greater person. We also have to understand that from Mikol Hashas, we have a lot of cases where the Gemara says if you have an argument between him and him, you go with him because he's greater. It's not that we're checking out each machlokas. Is it derabanan? Is deraisa? Why did the Gemara say in every instance, "Hey, it's derabanan l'kula, if it's deraisa l'chumra"? No, we say follow this rav or that rav depending on who's greater. Fimash kasav Rambam. No, shall sofrim you have to go after the mekel. Who cares who's greater? Tosin Avodah Zarah, there Dibra Maschel B'Shel Torah, and in Shabbos Taf Mem Beis Amid Beis Dibra Maschel B'Hainu. They bring that Rashi Paskin in every Kedamri in the Gemara that B'Shel Torah Alach Achar Machmir. Or B'Shel Sofrim, Halach Achar Acharon. There's an Ikadamri. If it's B'Shel Torah, you go after the Machmir. And if it's D'Rabbanan, you go after the latter opinion. It's Rashi and Chulin and Amid Beis, Dibra Maschel Kipligi. Look there and look in the Rush there in Avodah Zarah. So Chora asks Hagon Agadol, or David Yitzchak Man, based on the Shir and his say for the Yad Melech. He asks, I don't understand. If the halacha is like the Lishna Basra, so then B'Shel Torah, the halacha should also be like the Lishna Basra. And if the halacha is not like the Ikadamri, if it's not like the Lishna Basra, so B'Shel Sofrim, you go after the Mekel. And that's Taka how Rabbeinu Tam holds in Tosis. But really, the Olam B'Shel Torah Lechachar Machim B'Shel Sofrim Lechachar Mekel. So what's Rashi's whole vort here? That you go after the Lishna Basra. In B'Shel Sofrim. B'Shel Torah, you go after the Machmir. And B'Shel Sofrim, you go after the Lishna Basra. If the halacha is like the Lishna Basra, so B'Shel Torah should also be. And if it's not, then we should be Mekel. No matter what. So what's going on over here? Another kasha. The Ran and Avodah Zarah there, and Rosh Hashanah Chav Zayin Amud Beis, and the name of the Rach and the Rif, and look also in the Rosh and Avodah Zarah, B'Shel Torah L'chachar Machmir, Gam Kalish Nakama. In B'Shel Torah, you go after the Machmir, even if it's a Lish Nakama. And B'Shel Sofrim, Dinei Mamin is Halach Kalish Basra. And B'Shel Sofrim, if it's a Derabanan, and Dinei Maminis, the halacha is like the Lishna Basra. Madna. If it's Daraisa, you go after the Machmir. Even if it's a Lishna Kama. And if it's B'Shel Sofrim and Dinei Maminis, you go after the Lishna Basra. And the Ran there in Avodah Zarah already writes, Ve'eni yodea manishtanu dinei maminis mishar shel Torah. If midin Torah you go after the Chumrah, so why v'dinei maminis you go after Lishna Basra? He says, Im Kabbalah in a Kabbalah. If this is a tradition, we have to accept it, but it's a Davar Tamua. Also, B'das Tanakama, that holds that L'olam holchem l'hachmir b'machlokas. Ma pitom. Is he arguing with what we've paskin everywhere in Shas, Safek Rabban and Lakula? Safek is Lakula. So why should we go l'chumrah if you don't know what to do? Chasim Sofer Zomi, on this in Simon Chavav we mentioned earlier. Also in the Shmaitza and Shmaitza Aleph Sof Perigim. Ma pitom to be machmir and machlokes. We see in Shas Safek Rabban and Lakula. So you want to be machmir. If it's the Rabban, you go Lakula. Manzatzal says as follows to shed amazing light on this sugya. At the beginning of that brayso it says that if you ask a chacham and he was metame, you shouldn't go and ask a chacham and he'll be metayer. If you ask a chacham and he answered something, you shouldn't go ask another chacham and he'd be matir it. The Ran, in the name of the Ravid, writes, and so in the Rosh, and the Ritva, and the Rashban, Chulam, and Dalet, and Beis, the Od, that it's not because of the covet of the Rishon, but rather, once the first person answered, the first posek answered, Shavya anafshe chaticha surah, or Shavya chaticha surah, he made it into a chaticha of Isser, and it no longer has a heter. So that's why it's Asr, because he made it into a chaticha surah. Look in the Tshuvas Harad. Baz and Simon Shim Samach Beis Shekach Kosfu Rov Go'inei Olam. In other words, there's a koach psak that's poel. That only if it's a Tov B'dvar Mishnah, he's towing a davar pashut that's explicit, then it's a tos, and it's not a psak, and it's retracted. Look in the Rishonim we mentioned earlier about this. But otherwise, it's a psak, and this psak is meichel echalois iser, and you can't be matir it. And the Rosh brings the Yerushalmi, this inyan. Then Yin Chacham Shehiter and Rosh Chacham Acher Lesor. Not like that in Tosas and Avodah Zarah over there. So that's Mikoyach HaPsak. If a Chacham is Roy L'Hara and he paskins, he's Mechel HaChalos on this object. Whatever the Shaila is about. So according to that, it would appear that in the Seifa of this Brisa, we have the same inyan. We're not talking about Dinei Sfekis. We're talking about Dinei Psak. And that is that since every Chacham has a Koyach, once he's Magia L'Hora or the Beis Din, to be Meichel and Isser Heter, if you have a stira between two Chaluyos, that both of them are extant, both of them are there, both of them have a Koach Hora, so there you need a Hachra Bein Din Halicha Achar HaMorid. In other words, you have two poskim. One says like this, one says like that. Both are Chal. You have two Chaluyos. So now which one do I follow? It's not a Shaila in Dinei Sfekis. How to be Machriya the Safek. We're Machriya. They're both right. They're both Meichel the Chalos. Now who do I follow? So we're not talking about the Isser and Heter Ha'amiti Shel Adavar Mitzad Atzmo. It's not about whether this is Mutter or Aser. Because Lamaisa, there's a Psak Din. And the Psak Din is both. There's Mutter or Aser. So the Brisa says that if you have two opinions, one said it's Mutter and one said it's Aser, what do? Hanakam says what he says. Rabbi Shimon Karcha says depends if it's Darais D'Rabbanan. But that's after both of them were Meichel Echalos. So now we have Shaila and Hilchos Psak. Who do we follow? There's a famous Ritva and Eruvin and Dafid Gimel Amid Beis parenthetically. There's Machlokes there. Beishamai Beisila Elav Elav D'Rulakim Chayim. So he writes they're both true. Torah was given to them and they have a Koach Psak. Elav Elav D'Rulakim Chayim. So therefore, it has nothing to do with Sfek D'Rabbanan L'Kula. Because the Nidon here is not the Isser D'Rabbanan. That's already been Muchar by the Poskim. The Nidon is Bilchas Kabbalah Sorah. Had to be Makabal Orah. And in that the Tanakhama says that one is Gadol B'Chacham V'Minyan. Even though there's no din of Acher Rabbim Lahatos, because they didn't sit together, there was no din together. Like the Minchas Chinuch writes in Mitzvah Ein Ches. And the Maritz Chayis is Marich, B'Mishpat Torah Perikei, and the Chazon Ish is Ha'aretz, and Sefer Kovetz and Yana Moisvav, Ayin Sham. And so too, if he's a Gresser, a Chacham, if he's a greater Chacham. So Ikro Mitzad Roiv Chachma is also a Rof, he's got Roiv Chachma, like the Chinuch says in Mitzvah Ein Ches. So even though the Hachra wasn't Muchra, Al Yidei HaGadol, it's still a Safek, because you have both sides. But the din of Leilech Achar Psak, that each posik was Meichel, when one is Gadol B'Chacham V'Minyan, according to the Tanakhama, that itself gives weight and chshivus to the Gavra. And therefore the din is Leilech Acharav. You have to go after him. Otherwise, if they're equal, you have to go to Chumrah. Why? Because if you go to Kula, it's against the Psak that one of them was Meichel. If you go to Chumrah, it's not against either of them. Because the Mekil doesn't say that you can't go to Chumrah. But the Machmir says you can't go to Kula. So just to be safe, not go against anybody, you go to Chumrah. But Shaila is now, what's the halacha? The halacha, he said it's like this. He says like this. Shaila is which one to follow? So the answer is that if one of them is greater, follow him. If they're equal, then they both have a koach psak. You can't be mekil because then you're going to be going against the one who's machmir, and his psak was chal. So you have to be machmir, and then you're not going against anybody. And therefore, ein zein yan zelo kashul to the question of Sfek D'Rabbanan L'Kula. What does that have to Sfek D'Rabbanan L'Kula? It was already Muchra. Not a Safek anymore. He says like this, he says like this. But what are you going to do? The answer is that in Dinei Psak, you have to follow the one who was Machmir according to Tanakam. Because then you're not going against either of them. You can't be Mekel because then you're going against the Psak that was Chal. That you have to be Machmir. And we see this in the Chazon Ish in Shvius, Siman Chov Gimel, in his Haaretz. And it's Kimat Lehedji in the Tshuvas HaRashba, in Chelek Aleph, Siman Reish Nun Gimel. Ayin Shem in the Tshuvas HaRashba. That even though we paskin b'deraisa, you go after the Machmir, nevertheless says in Chulin Mem Dalid, that before the Baskol, that you go after Beis Hillel. If you want to follow Beis Shammai, you can follow Beis Shammai. You want to follow Beis Hillel, you can follow Beis Hillel. And that's even to be Mekel in a deraisa. And the question is, how's it Tali B'Ritzono? You can follow wherever you want. And also, look in Yevamis Yudalad Amad Aleph M'Kol Mashiach Belazar Karsim Eitzim. What we would today consider Chil Shabbos. They were making on a Safek Daraisa. It's talking there about the Bris Milah, that they were matir. Machshirei Bris Milah. It's a Safek Daraisa. So there he writes that Chazon Ish, that if it's your Rebbe, you can follow him even lahakel. That were together. If there was no rov that decided, you can follow your Rebbe. And if you want to follow Beis Shammai, if you're karov lo, and you follow him, berov mitzvahs, you can follow Beis Shammai. Ayin Shem the Chazon Ish. What's mavur lahedya? There's no shaila here of Safek Daraisa. Why? Because if it was Safek Daraisa, what does it matter that you're close to him? But the nidon here is, after which psak should you go? So if it's your Rebbe, you follow the psak of your Rebbe, even though there's another psak. And in such an instance, there's no difference in Daraisa and Rabbanan. Because the psak lahagel also is a shame psak. Because now in Bedinei Psak you can follow your Rebbe. Like our Yisod. And we can also understand what the Chinuch writes in Ein Ches. To be Mechadish Midaito. The Din Holach Achar Rov is only when they're Shavim B'Chachma. But if they're not Shavim B'Chachma, the Rov is not going to be machriya the miyut. The Minchas Chinuch asked, how did the Chinuch write misvara ba'alma? That it's his own svara, that the din of Hol Chacharov is only when they're equal in Chachma. But if they're not equal in Chachma, then we don't follow the Rov, follow the miyut. The miyut greater in Chachma. It's an open sugya. Yevamis Yudalad Amad Aleph. That according to the man the Omar, that Beis Shammai followed their own psak, even though Beis Hillel was a rov, it's because Beis Shammai was machadi tvei, they were sharper. So you see that rov anoshim is not machriya, rov chachma. So the Minchas Chinuch looked there, he blind to the tzarachim. Why doesn't the Chinuch bring this sugya? So the answer is that the Chinuch is discussing a Beis Din. That is sitting together and the Torah says go after the rov. When the Beis Din is sitting together, the Torah says to go after the rov. So it's a chidush gadol of the Chinuch to say not to go after the rov when the miyut has more chachma. Like the Chinuch himself says that based on Agoda, we don't say like this. Ayin Shem the Chinuch. So that's his chiddush. They're sitting together and they have a rov, and he says, no. You follow the miut who are greater in chachma. Chiddush, Torah says to follow the rov. Mashenkein Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, they're two batei dinim. There's no hachra of a rov. The nidon is how to paskin to other people. Klape the din that others have to follow this psak. So there, rov minyan is machriya, that you have to follow this psak. But on this, the Gemara says that rov chachma is also a svara. And if you have a steer between rov minyan and rov chachma, you don't go after rov minyan dafka. And therefore, Beis Shammai says to paskin like them. So there's two different idonim here. One is how to paskin the halacha. Do you follow the mir, the basin, who's greater in chachma, or the rov that's greater in number? And there, the chinuch is mechadesh that you follow the mir and chachma. That's a shaila in hachras halacha. But now we have a shaila. What the Gemara is discussing is how to paskin for others. Who do you follow? Once there is a psak, once there's a chalos psak, Beis Shammai says like this, Beis Hillel says like this, who do you follow? So, there's a svara to say you follow rov minyan, and there's a svara to say you follow rov chachma. And that's not what the Torah is talking about. The Torah says, Acharab l'hadis, you follow the rov. In Pashtus, you follow the greater number. But once you already have a psak din, and now you want to know which psak din to follow, that's a different issue. And here we say, you know which psak din you follow? You follow the psak din, according to that opinion of the Gemara, of the rov chachma. And that's why Beis Shammai said to follow the Beis Shammai, follow their own psak. And in the Kutei Chidushei Ramban on Masechah Sanhedrin, he brings b'shem goin, like the chinuch. He argues with the chinuch, and he says, "Ze lo kashur la'Gemara b'Yevamot, ki shem medubar b'shnei batei din." That's exactly what we're saying. Okay, there are a lot more sources to that flesh out this chiddush. You see it again and again, and I'm hoping Kodesh Baruch Hu should give us the koach and the moach to continue this shir. And there's so much, just a wealth of material, and Baruch Hashem, very, very beautiful shir. I hope you enjoyed. Obviously, we haven't answered all the kashas yet. We just started. It's a Shem, a lot more to do. Simcha to Lev of Merov Kol. Amen v'amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friends.